Imagine what might happen if civilization as we know it were to suddenly come to an end. Due to a non-stop war, the destruction and loss of life would be widespread, leaving many people struggling to survive in a world without basic necessity and security. The once known civilization filled with tall buildings, advanced technologies, and entertainment are now turned to dust and emptiness. The end of the world represents a turning point in history, a moment where everything changes and humanity is forced to face its greatest challenges. But amidst all of this, two girls navigate through the ruins of civilization in search for a place to call home.
It's nice, though, having an actual roof over you. Not to mention the four walls surrounding us.
Yeah, I guess so.
In today's video, we're gonna talk about Girl Last Tour. Girl Last Tour or Shoujo Shumatsu Ryoko is a slice of life slash post-apocalyptic manga written and illustrated by Tsukumizu. It was serialized monthly from February 2014 to January 2018 and collected in 6 volumes. 12-episode anime television adaptation produced by White Fox, mainly covering the manga's first 4 volumes, aired in Japan from October to December 2017.
So, what's gonna happen to us when the sun finally rises, Chi?
We'll die.
In Girl Last Tour, civilization is dead, but Chito and Yuuri are still alive. So they hop aboard their beloved motorbike and aimlessly wander the ruin of the world they once knew. Day after hopeless day, they look for their next meal and fuel for their rides. But as long as the two are together, even an existence as bleak as theirs has a ray or two of sunshine in it. Whether they are sucking down their fill of soup or hunting for machine parts to tinker with. For those girls, in a world full of nothing, experience and feeding the two shares give them something to live for. The two have no huge reason or motivation to keep on. They survive for survival's sake, going on the last tour of a world long gone.
The Earth was once a large living being, but
Then, what is it now?
If in the grand scheme of things, we are all insignificant, nothing we do is matter, and we're going to die, why bother caring about anything? Girl Last Tour counter it by asking very basic question. Why can't individuals choose their own meaning to life? What if individuals find their own purpose? Isn't that meaningful? And doesn't that make life worth living, regardless of the state of the world or the significance of what you want? Finding something to drive you forward is enough to make life worth living. Yes, as individuals, we may not have much impact, and yes, we are going to die one day, but those two things only emphasize the importance of the time we have. The position that the girls are put in the story are horrible. They are in a situation where civilization is basically completely dead. Any survivors can die at any point of their life, and that the people who do end up surviving have most likely no way of going back to the way of life that they were living before this apocalypse happened. But the fact that these girls from the beginning are content with the fact that, well, this is our life and this is how we are probably going to live and die our entire lives, strangely enough, give us this feeling of ease to us. We don't really think about the horrible fate of these girls because the girls themselves don't think about it either.
We're all just going to die here anyway. There's no point to living anymore.
Anime that deal with the decline of humanity are rather rare, and when they exist, the human race usually goes out in a spectacular fashion. A go-down swinging approach, the last champion of Earth like Fist of the North Star. Girl Last Tour though is a slice of life or Iyashikai, which put it in a rare company indeed, alongside just a handful of other properties, most of which never made it outside of the slice of life format. While it interesting only on the basis of its genre rarity, Girl Last Tour would be merely vaguely interesting. It combines its subject matter with its genre in some thought-provoking and at times genuinely surprising ways that it made it in a class of its own. In other words, this show that are the complete opposite of dark post-apocalyptic shows, blending these two elements of slice of life and post-apocalyptic into a series is kind of like doesn't make sense and doesn't dig it. Girl Last Tour managed to work the post-apocalyptic with the Iyashikai character by just showing these two girls being content or carefree with the situation they are put in, and that's an important theme this show prioritizes itself in.
You wanna take me with you if you fall?
No way. I just figured if I started falling, you could maybe fall the other way and save me from my impending death.
That sounds pretty hard to pull off.
Something that keeps driving people forward can also be relationship. Although both Chito and Yuuri have different interests, such as Chito's love for history and Yuri's love for food and fun, it becomes clear by the end of the show that the bond these two shares is what keeps them looking forward to the next day, no matter how low on food they may be running or how cold it may be. They may be nothing alike, but they want to experience the world and new things together to distract themselves from the situation they currently have to live in. It's hard not to get swept up in the show's pensive mood, but it is near impossible not to fall in love with the protagonist's fun and take. Yuuri and Chito have amazing chemistry, and partaking in their intimacy is a truly soothing experience. The two shares a heartwarming bond of love and trust, and remind one of a simpler days. To take the role of an onlooker is to embrace a heartwarming nostalgia. Chito and Yuri's dynamic as a pair is the greatest strength of this anime. Majority of the funny moment comes from them having to deal with one another. The two almost felt like they are sisters. They bicker, then make up a moment later. Ultimately, their love for one another shines through. They have such wonderful chemistry, and their philosophical banter never feels unnatural. The story strives by treating the two as a combo, with them being an interesting survival duo where one makes up for the other's weakness. They put each other through bit by bit, that it's really heartwarming to see them continually bond together as survival in arms.
Strict.
It gives time for us to grow attached to this character, but at the same time, it gives time for the circumstances of the world they live in flesh out in itself without any needs for exposition. I find it most post-apocalyptic show like this. There's always either someone or something that explains what happened to the world and why the world became this apocalyptic mess in the first place. But in the case with the girl last tour, we don't know what happened, and in all honesty, we shouldn't really care what happened because that's not the point of the show. It's not about the end goal, but rather about the journey. Girl Last Tour does this in the same way by relying heavily on things like atmospheric background, an ambience and atmospheric soundtrack that perfectly set the current mood and make it interesting to watch.
Look at this, Chi! It's huge!
Put that down, you. We don't need guns.
The art of Girl Last Tour skillfully plays into the message and theme of the story, drifting between believable rundown and apocalyptic buildings to slightly fantastical or constructions out of science fiction stories. The art, whether meant to be literal illustration of dilapidated worlds surrounding the girls, or showing how they see their worlds as a mysterious, vaguely foreboding landscape, pair well with the audience's lack of knowledge of the world, being shown only what the main characters see. Every location that Chito and Yuuri visit contains broken construct, hint about the activities and purpose of each area, creates a wonderful atmosphere of a once mighty and thriving world now breathing its last. The show's solid visuals are accompanied by both upbeat and melancholic music. The soundtrack creates a great feeling of departure, encompassing an euphoric mood and a grieving goodbye. On the other hand, the opening and ending song excel through their sheer musical simplicity. They embrace modern electronic music and pop culture, depicting and enhancing the fun shenanigans of the two girls and their endless journey. Other than that, the actual sound effect of the shows are spot on. The grinding of gears, hissing of steam, everything just sounds perfect and contributes so much to the atmosphere that they are in.
It's like a flood of sound inside here.
Well, come to think of it, maybe this is what they used to call music.
To conclude, I would like to say Girl Last Tour is a rare anime that took on a peculiar premise and turned it into a near masterpiece. Masterfully crafted track through a dying world, contemplating their very reason for living and being, seeing through the eyes of two girls who make do with whatever they have. It has the ability to get viewers invested without an overlaying plot. With a world setting filled with mystery, it excels through simplicity and thoughtfulness, but never dwell on the latter. Guys, what do you think about Girl Last Tour? Do you enjoy it or do you not enjoy it? Do you see it as interesting and as good as I do, or do you have another way of looking at it? Let me know that kind of stuff in the comment below. That's all from me. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe for more. Tooga out.